going to go on a dream, but I want to say something, Steve, because this is happening. I came to Australia last year. And last year, I spoke to so many people who were against President Trump.
Okay.
You just speak to people and they're just like, they have they've made up their own view. I came again now, and this is the shift that I'm seeing. And I say this because it's a good shift. The same people who used to be against him are now for him.
Now, you told me that before. And so to clarify, you're talking about your people that you know in Australia, and a lot of them, and probably not just the ones you know, but I mean, lots and lots and lots of people were kind of Trump haters in Australia. And in the length of a year's time, everybody watching Trump and watching Biden, all of a sudden, the haters became Trump lovers. That's what I think you're saying. Is that
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely,
Wow,
Steve.
that's huge.
That's huge. And I'm excited because people can see. People are starting to see behind the scenes. They're starting to see what's happening. So as we are doing this show, I know that many from Australia watch Elijah Streams. And so I just want to urge the people from Australia to pray for the United States and to pray for God to have his way, and to pray for God, for people even in the US, more and more people to see that God called him. God called him, God wants him, and it's gonna be heaven ruling in this coming few months that we're gonna say. So I wanted to say that because I was full of joy when people came up to me. And Steve, man, there were people that came up to me and I wanted to tell them, you guys don't even know that you're prophesying, They were like, Trump's gonna be back. He's gonna be back. And I'm like, ooh.
Oh, I love that.
So I wanted to say that, but let
now
me get.
By the way, you're just for people to know, you were from, or you lived in the Sydney area, right?
Yes.
Just so people kind of know where in Australia this all is, and okay, and a lot of them have changed. And but did anyone say what happened? Yvonne, is that I hated Trump until such and such and such happened. Did anybody tell you what made the switch back to?
You know what it is, Steve?
What?
Yeah, you know what it is? They felt that the media had lied to them about what Biden can and cannot do, and that they're very disappointed. This is a word that I heard from so many people. It's almost like people were promised that this guy is the real deal, and now they're thinking, man, we had it good during the days of Trump. Wow. And when they say in that simple way, I honestly, I had a big smile on my face. I was like, oh God, you're doing it. You're doing it. You're doing it, God. So I just want to encourage people hearing this. We're up for a big celebration, guys. We really, really are, up to see prophetic words spoken in the show being fully fulfilled, celebrating God, celebrating that God has his way. And this is the word God gave me for December, and we're going to begin to unpack it. But heaven rules. Heaven rules. And it's going to be heaven overruling earth, because that's what happens, and that's what's been happening. So just to hear, Steve, you know what? Sometimes it's so cool to hear the opinion or the view of ordinary people. I'm talking about simple people, not people in government, not people in politics. No, simple people who are just sitting there behind the TV, watching the news, and they could see. So it's just encouraging, because you know what I say to them? Pray for the US. Pray for the Lord to have his way. Pray for victory, and they're like, yes, we're praying. Yes, so I want to encourage people hearing this, that there's people in Australia praying for the US, and that God has his way. He's already marching. God is already getting the troops ready.
And you know what? None of us, we all agree that we don't worship Trump. He's not the Lord. The Lord is the Lord. But as an appointed man of God, as a Cyrus of our generation, of our day and age, he has willingly taken the slings and arrows, hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. He's taken them all willingly in order to help this earth in order to help the U.S. first and foremost, but then the rest of the earth. He loves God's people throughout the earth, and he doesn't only care about just the Christians. He cares about the people that want a good life for their family, And so I just honored Trump for that, President Trump, Commander in Chief Trump, all of the above, But yeah, I mean,
And
he's like, go ahead.
yeah, and Steve, there was someone who said something to me. You know what he said? He said, "Why is Trump being so persecuted?" You know what he said? He said, "I've never seen any president in the United States before that's going in court, being dragged like this." And I just laughed. I said, "Don't you know why? Don't you know why they're doing this? And don't you know why they're trying to do this even now?
Yeah.
They're trying to disqualify him from, coming into the elections again, but no one can." No one can, because God had said his word. So even people are thinking, that's so unjust. That's injustice. That's
Yeah.
unfair.
Yeah.
You're talking about ordinary people, Steve, that are just sitting there. They're watching the news and they're thinking, this is not right. There's
Right.
something happening there that doesn't fit, what God is trying to do. So I'm just rejoicing. We get
Yeah.
to go on the journey, right?
Yeah, it's been it's a fun journey. I'm ready for it to be over, but when you really look back on it, it seems like these 3 years have taken forever, and yet 3 years, it hasn't taken so long. We lived through that.
Yeah.
We're alive. We're stronger for it, for
Yes.
dignity. It didn't happen quite as fast as we thought. Maybe
Yes.
not even nearly as fast as we thought, but we're okay. That didn't hurt us. We
Yeah.
had to dig our roots in deeper, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. But I think it's to value what we're about to have, Steve.
I think
It's
you're
to
right.
value what we're about to have. Sometimes you take a lot for granted until you no longer have this thing. And I
Yeah.
think now it's the process that God's taking his people on, that his people now that were against God's choice are now changing their mind and thinking, no, I think God actually wants him. I think God, and as you said, it's not about a person, but it's about who did God appoint at the
Yes,
start. That's
that's right.
all that this is about. So I wanted to share this on the show because I'm celebrating already. I'm starting early celebrations for what God's about to do. And I was encouraged. People encourage me, and I'm here to encourage others, to pray and to believe for the upcoming victory.
Yeah. So